called Yo. Sorry, there was this song on the TV in my mom's room that had country music on. I'm like, I have no idea. Anyway, so this is my second to last video so far of my throughout the years videos. Just because I don't remember a lot from my past years, and I am not in high school yet, so I know it probably would have been better to do this once I got out of high school, but I could not wait. I saw it and I'm like, I have to do it. Okay, so 7th grade, I was just fine with public schools and stuff. I was going to middle school, and I know the typical age going into 7th grade was like 12 and 13 years old, 14 at the oldest. I was 11. I was 10 going into 6th grade and turned 11, and then I was 11 going into 7th grade and I was turning 12. I was like kind of scared too, because like all the guys were like 13 or so, and I was like the youngest girl there, because I was the only one with a September birthday. I was like, oh my god. I remember I was on team 7-2. They divided it into teams because we had such a big 7th grade class and 8th grade class, so they decided to do teams for like the second time since the middle school's been up, like built and running. And the guy I had a crush on in 6th grade wasn't in my team. He was in team 7-1, and that crush kind of went away. I kind of didn't like him anymore. I was like, and of course, the first day we go to Access First. If I ever do that in a video, like that means I got another crush, or something good happened that I was obviously thrilled about. So I went into my advisement access class, which was actually also my science class, and of course I'm wearing like makeup. It was actually really good makeup for being my first time I wore makeup, like put it on myself. And I walked in, there was this guy. Of course he always had a girlfriend from 6th grade, but I walked in, I'm like, oh hell, like hi. And so I said hi. Of course we ended up having to sit next to each other due to seating shorts. Kind of awkward. But I had like no friends in that class, and so I was kind of like, okay, and so he just kept talking to me. His girlfriend got really mad at that. Me and her ended up becoming friends later on in the school year. Actually later on in life. Just kidding. So then we walked through our whole schedule. Doing that, I found out I had not only advisement, I had science. I had special reading with him. So I'm like trying to think. And math. Alright, so I had 4 classes with him out of 7. And of course I had lunch with him too, because I had advisement with him. So, we had so many classes together. In all of them, we ended up having to sit either right next to each other, like I would be right behind him, or he'd be right behind me, or we'd be like one person apart either way. Which was really awkward, because then it kind of made this weird feeling between us. Oh, and we also had language arts. So we had 5 classes together. We only had 2 that we didn't, which was like an elective and social studies. Okay, anyway, so, but he ended up getting his schedule changed, so then he was taken out of my science class, my math class, and that was it. So then he was only in 3 of my classes. But I developed like the hugest crush on him. I even got his number by the end of the school year. That's back in my story. You gotta keep listening. So that was first trimester. And I was like so sad that second trimester was coming because then I'm like, what if I don't have any class with him except for advisement? Because you don't get changed, your advisement class doesn't get changed. Um, so then we got our new schedules, and me and him actually became kind of like friends since we always sat next to each other in advisement. Like no matter what, no matter where the teacher put us, we were always at the same table. Because they were like the two people tables in science class. That's how our science classes were. Um, and so me and him like exchanged our schedules, and he circled all the ones we had together. And on mine, I'm like, okay. We ended up having still advisement. We had math together, and that was it. I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, we only have a few classes together. Actually, I ended up getting my schedule changed because I got taken out of Spanish. That's another story. But yeah, so it was I was actually really bummed about it. And then my language arts teacher talked to me because she noticed, because I was actually sad and I wasn't really doing any of my work, she noticed that my grade was slipping. She asked if it was because of the Spanish class was taking up most of my time, because I always had to like work really hard in Spanish because I barely knew English as it was. So she was like, well, is it because of your Spanish class? And I was talking to her and stuff, and she's like, well, I'm going to get your schedule switched so you have another study hall. So I had advisement and a study hall. So I got that. Me and him still had math together and advisement together. Um, but that kind of went by as a sad little trimester because I was like, I only have like 2 classes with the kid. And we only talked in advisement because we actually didn't even sit next to each other in math class. Third trimester came up. Oh my god, that was like the funniest trimester ever. It was the last trimester of the school year. I started texting him a little bit more, and he kind of, I guess, developed a crush on me too. I think. Kind of developed a crush on me too. I was like so happy. Of course, by then I was like so good at doing my makeup. I had like the prettiest makeup on in the whole school because I was using my mom's blending brush so I didn't have the really harsh lines and stuff. And I had like the perfect skin still, and like now I have like blemishes all over. And I was so diligent with washing my face so I didn't get blemishes. During the summer that kind of changed. That's another story. But me and him had study hall together. Oh my god, the best thing ever. Sad thing is, another girl who liked him also had it with us. I did not like that, and our teacher then developed a rule that we could not sit next to each other unless we were working on the same thing. Which made me really mad. So we only had 2 classes together, and basically it went my first hour, which I can't even remember what it was, study hall with him, math, then advisement and lunch, which was advisement and lunch. Then 5th hour, which was an hour long because then the 8th graders were to eat, and then my 5th hour was language arts because I remember my math and language arts never changed. And then I can't remember which one. And then I had my special reading at the end. I remember because I always loved going to that class because we had a student teacher. He would let us sit outside, and while we were outside, we'd be like texting a whole bunch of people because he wouldn't be out there with us. He'd trust us because he's like, oh, you guys are almost 8th graders, you're grown up and stuff. He was so stupid. So yeah, we barely got any work done, and he ended up finding out, and then the real teacher came back, and he's like, oh shit. But yeah. Anyway, so in my second hour of study hall, I would always figure out a way to get out of class while we were in the actual classroom because we switched from the actual classroom to the library to the teacher's conference room because they'd be using the study hall classroom for something else. So basically, whenever we were in the actual thing, we didn't have, it was like plain white walls. You would go crazy if you stayed in there the whole period because I tried it once and I did go crazy. Literally, I couldn't work. I was tapping my pencil. I was drawing stuff. I could not work at all because it was plain white with black tiles and a little speaker on the wall. But besides that, everything was white. The desks were white. The chairs were white. I was gonna die. The computers were white. Everything was white. I was like, oh god, my god. Like, mental institute, here I come. Because I was literally gonna go insane. So I then realized that I could get out of class if I was gonna clean my locker, see a teacher, or go to the bathroom. So once a week I would always go and clean my locker. It was always in the middle of the week, always on a Wednesday. All the other times I would either go see a teacher, or go to the bathroom. So during the times I went to clean my locker, the kid I had a crush on, he figured out my routine. And so basically, as soon as I left, he would go up and say he has to clean his locker, or he has to go to the bathroom, or he's got to go see a teacher. And so I would actually on Wednesday clean my locker because my locker got so messy because I had classes all over, spread around, completely crazy. So I throw stuff in and walk right out. But then I'd go and clean it on Wednesdays. Of course, middle of the week was like, gotta clean. And so I'd go and she'd be like, really? Locker's messy? I'm like, yeah. And she started not believing me, and so she'd actually walk out there with me, and I'd show her my locker, and she's like, oh. She eventually stopped doing that because she believed me. And so then that's when he started doing his thing again, and he'd literally just sit there with his shoulder against the locker next to mine and be like, you need help? And I'll be like, no. And it was so weird because I like had all my stuff on the floor, and I had a top locker, and I'd have to bend over and get it. And I didn't like bending over in front of him because I would always wear a low-cut shirt. Because why not? Plus it was like close to summer and it was really hot in the classrooms, and so I'd wear a low-cut shirt and like straps like these if I get yelled at. And so yeah, and I'd be like burning up. But anyway, I'd be like, no, I don't need help. On the days that I would say I'm going to a teacher, I would actually look like I'm cleaning my locker again. Teachers got really suspicious about that, so then whenever a teacher came by, I would look like I was walking to the bathroom really fast. And then one time I think one of them asked me why I'm always going to the bathroom, and because I was doing that like weekly now, I was like, I'm on my period. So I have the guys watching this, but that's what I said. But the guy kept following me and stuff, and so we ended up texting even more. And then on our last field trip, I was texting him 24/7. We went to a bowling alley. He didn't go with us. No, he did go with us because we were in the same advisement class. And I remember just sitting there. We were both we were like so far away from each other because of where our groups were. And I was like texting him, and literally, me or him did not even bowl because we would not let anybody else see the text messages because we were like, no. Like, nobody even knew we liked each other, so we were like, no, I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to let you text. And, of course, I didn't have a lock on my phone that time, like I do now. Because now I'm totally fine with my friends, like, having my phone, because, you have to have a lock, my passcode. So, yeah, that was my 7th grade year, the most, like, entertaining year, kind of, because I was like, lockers. Well, it's not as entertaining as my 4th grade year. Like, as exciting as my 4th grade year, but it was like lockers, cute boys, classrooms you have to go in between, you got hallways, you got talking time. It was really fun. I have to say right now, throughout my middle school, I did not have PEL. Since this video is really long and I'm about to run out of time, I'm going to say bye, and I'm going to make my next video. So, bye.